Chelsea and Man United have been drawn against each other for the fifth round of the FA Cup. This is the second major big tie of the FA Cup. We saw obviously Man United Arsenal drew in over 7 million viewers on the BBC, so there is an argument for more free-to-air domestic TV rights. I'm not going to lie, 7.35 million people watched two clubs that are hated by the majority of English football fans play a game of football on the telly, because neutrals like tuning in as well. I'll be interested to look at the TV numbers for all three televised BBC games from the weekend. I would really be interested to look at what the viewership figures were, because 7.35 watching on the Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if it was about 2 to 3 million on the Saturday, and I would, again, a similar number on last night's game. But here's the thing, this is a replay of last year's FA Cup final, the worst FA Cup final in living memory. It was a shocker. It was a 1-0, it was dull, boring, and everything's changed at both clubs. We've got two managers who were not there last year. Sarri's obviously had the first half of the season. He's brought a few players in, not major changes, a few players have moved out, but no major changes to the Chelsea squad. Solskjaer, I don't know what the remit is from Ed Woodward over signings, but they've made no transfer moves. None. So this is basically the same team apart from a few changes. It's the same squad apart from, I think, 2 or 3 players that started and that were available for that FA Cup final last year. This is the same squad that Mourinho had basically dragged down to 7th or 8th, I think it was as low as 12th at one point in the Premiership this season. Very low on morale. 8 games later, he's gone. Solskjaer is in. They've won all 8 games. There's still room for improvement, absolutely. Same with Chelsea. They laboured last night, but my God, this is the tie of the 5th round. And there's still replays from the 4th round to be sorted out in the next few days. I mean, Wolves have got a replay against Shrewsbury, and I've picked Wolves to actually win the FA Cup, although I did say I felt that one of the finalists for the FA Cup would come from the Arsenal-Man United game. If Man United are to get back to the final and to get some silverware, they have to get past a solid Chelsea side. Now, they're not an expansive Chelsea side by any means, but they are playing more positively than they were under Conte last year. Two clubs that had very negative seasons last year. Two clubs that have had to change managers in the last 6 months. There is a lot riding on this game. Both these sides, I don't think, are going to win the Premier League. They're just, I think, for me, too far back. Chelsea are slightly better off in the league. Man United had to overcome a stubborn Arsenal side on Friday. It's interesting. Solskjaer wants to continue his winning streak. I don't think any Man United manager has won this many games in a row before. No manager's ever won their first 8 at Old Trafford, so he's set a record already. And Sarri, okay, Chelsea aren't where they would like to be. I think Chelsea would like to be a bit further up the table. I think they would like to be a bit closer to Liverpool and Man City. They are those few points further back. But they have a very solid squad there. However, both teams do have their deficiencies, and they're mostly in defence. And they have been highlighted at various times this season. The thing is, Sarri's trying to develop new tactics and a new playing style, and Solskjaer was just trying to make the team more positive and generally raise the atmosphere of the club, and he's done that. Now Solskjaer's got the players playing with happiness again. They can work out their tactical flaws. Chelsea are still, I think, slightly in transition, although they look better than they were last season. Sarri has come in with a different mindset. It's going to be a titanic struggle at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be one of those games where I think we're going to have similar viewing figures to what we had for Friday's game just gone between Arsenal and Man United on the TV, which are far higher than any Sky figures ever have been, or BT Sport. I think the North London derby last season between Tottenham and Arsenal drew 80,000 viewers. So this shows, repeats the argument for more free-to-air domestic football rights on TV in the UK. It's a solid argument to keep as much free-to-air sport, at least to make it more readily available than it already is. There's a big argument for it. But there we go. Chelsea Man United, that's the highlight. They've been drawn to face each other in the 5th round. It's a replay of last year's final, although the situation is different for both clubs. There's new managers in place. There's a few changes of squad, but basically the squads are basically the teams that were playing in the final last year, with a few tweaks here or there. Cesc Fabregas has obviously left Chelsea. Michael Carrick has obviously retired as a player at Man United. But for the most part, it's as you were. And I think Solskjaer has faced a tough test against Arsenal and has overcome that. and it was a tricky game, and it wasn't all Man United all the way. It was the scoreline below the fact it was harder than it was, and Chelsea. They didn't look like they got out of second gear last night, so I think Chelsea got more to give as well, and we'll see how Higuain fits into the system, and we'll see if what happens with Hudson-Odoi if he stays or goes, and how that squad's rotated as well. But it's a mouth-watering prospect for a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below on this tie, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.